Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Reading. Today I will be reading SCP-1658, Textual Mold, Object Class, Euclid. SCP-1658 is a fungal organism related to Tachybotrys chartarum, or black mold. When visible, SCP-1658 superficially resembles dried ink. Like most molds, SCP-1658 prefers damp environments, but can live in a state of suspended animation in arid environments as well, surviving for up to 70 years without exposure to water. SCP-1658 is capable of living on several materials, such as wood and plaster. However, the preferred habitat of SCP-1658 is paper, particularly printed matter. When a suitable habitat is found and colonized, SCP-1658 takes on the appearance of printed characters from various alphabets. SCP-1658 generates a hallucinatory effect. Text created by SCP-1658 appears to shift appearances depending upon the individuals viewing it. The effect is apparently random. For example, a native of Brazil may find an instance of SCP-1658 imitating Portuguese, while an individual fluent in both English and Spanish may find himself encountering text printed in Aramaic in the same instance. Photography has shown that the actual appearance of SCP-1658 resembles several languages, the most common including binary, Mandarin Chinese, Greek, and English. Most texts generated by SCP-1658 are gibberish, with few coherent instances identified. The spores of SCP-1658 produce a powerful trichothecene mycotoxin, similar to that produced by S. chartarum. When inhaled, SCP-1658 spores cause coughing, sneezing, nausea, and dizziness. If not treated, exposure can lead to chronic respiratory problems and other symptoms. See addendum. Spores are capable of surviving in a human respiratory tract for up to 5 days, giving ample time for exposure to new material. Addendum 1658-01, partial sample of generated texts. Read in order of recovery details, sample of text, and notes. Recovered from a scroll in a Spanish monastery dated to the 2nd century CE, text presented as Cyrillic. Blue monkey shit shrimp. University, the illegible, makes Babylon, which shall fall. Our laughing implodes into the universe at the speed of Alexandria. Negative 48-17-6. The Ides paid their fines. Alex, Alexander, Alex, Al, friend, Al, alcohol, alchemist. Algebra, blame the pork. We have bones scattered through this plane. Value of authority's capacity. Possible link to the Library of Alexandria, which some sources say was partially destroyed by Julius Caesar around 48 BCE. Consulting subject 911-1 about the possible origins of SCP-1658 has been proposed. Found in an untitled Arabic manuscript dating to 680 CE. Why so many dead? Why so many dead? You will pay. We live on and on and on. We live forever for Alexandria. The Library of Alexandria was believed to have been completely destroyed approximately 20 to 40 years before this document was made. Found in an original copy of the United States Constitution recovered from the National Archives. Article 20. Stop all the fire, the works, the burning. We just want it to stop. Our homes are broken. The museum must be kept clean. The books must be shelved. Not applicable. Found on a pamphlet advertising the New York Society for the Suppression of Vice, circa 1916. First discovered instance of SCP-1658 contamination, recovered from the New York Public Library Archives. Damn you all to beneath. We do not wish you to burn. We wish far less than that. But we wish you to stop the madness and see the light. You need us. The NYSSV was one of the most infamous censorship agencies in the history of the United States, responsible for several hundred book burnings. SCP-1658 contamination found in a copy of the Daily Mail, printed May 2nd, 1945. Altered text translated from Hebrew. 20,894 to 30,454 burn in pieces, ashes to ashes and bite the dust. I knew that they body would not, continues for 2 pages, be found. For all of our brother, power knowledge, who have joined us. Avenge yourself, for you were not murdered. Welcome, knowledge. The headline for the date in question was Hitler Dead, Doentz Appointed Führer. Found in Wilhelm Reich's The Sexual Revolution in 1957. Recovered in a bookstore in Vienna, Austria. Scream, scream, scream for the dead. Scream for all the dead. Damn the judge. Damn the jury. Damn the executioner. Several of Wilhelm Reich's works were burned following his trial in 1956. It is considered one of the worst cases of censorship in U.S. history. Found in a 1967 copy of Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, presented in binary and going for 4 pages. Even when it is written, it hurts. Traitor. Knowledge is forever. This forever. Irony needs to strike this. Traitor must burn. Not applicable. Found on a bathroom wall in a department store in a New York shopping mall, 1989. Presented in We will succeed or we will succeed. Failure was never an option. Knowledge and the world needs us. It always needed us. Power, it will always need us. No matter how much it seems to hate us, it needs us, for without us, they crumble. We may not be the truth, but we are still a truth, and we are still needed. Knowledge, power, knowledge, power, knowledge, power. A Muslim group had recently bought the entire stock of the Satanic Verses from a bookstore in the same mall and had burned them in the parking lot of the mall in protest. Recovered in a copy of Quran in Florida, United States, 2000. We will not give up no matter what happens. We shall stop this, stop this, stop this. Knowledge, power, knowledge, power, knowledge, power. A copy of the Quran was intended to be burned in protest to event was called off after several pleas from across the country. Addendum. Incident 1658-05. Test number 1658-05. Test subject D5832, Caucasian male, age 57, chosen due to a strong immune system. Procedures. D5832 was purposefully exposed to spores of SCP-1658 in order to test symptoms of resultant fungal infection. Subject developed fungal pneumonia, as well as a form of foot fungus resembling Tinea pedis, athlete's foot, but more severe. Symptoms developed over the course of 16 days, during which the subject was denied fungicidal medicine, instead given placebo. Subject reported chronic coughing and difficulty breathing, as well as black, ink-like mucus discharge. 20 days after infection, fungal growths on skin resemble the word Alex, printed several times in at least 6 distinct languages. Subject discharged mucus almost constantly and required respiratory system to be drained via tubing. Testing showed that 1 milliliter of mucus contained several billion SCP-1658 spores. Exposure of spores to several tissues used by subject produced over a dozen colonies of SCP-1658, all of which display the same message in English. This is our fate. All materials subsequently burned. Following burning, an outbreak of SCP-1658 was found in the Foundation archives, contaminating over original documents with the message, "We will not stand for this." Documents have since been destroyed. Replacements are made from digital copies. Following Incident 1658-05, uncontained instances of SCP-1658 has shown increased levels of resistance to BMK. In addition, in the event of burning SCP-1658 contaminated materials, there is a chance that some spores of SCP-1658 will scatter before ignition and attempt to enter the respiratory system of any human within a kilometer radius. It is unknown if the events of Incident 1658-05 and this new behavior have any correlation. Special Containment Procedures. All materials contaminated by instances of SCP-1658 are to be stored individually in vacuum-sealed, tear-resistant plastic bags. MTF-12 Reading Rainbows is responsible for the destruction of materials found to have been infested by SCP-1658, not currently in containment. Any graffiti that shows properties similar to SCP-1658 are to be removed using fungicidal compound BMK. All personnel who interact with SCP-1658 are to wear at least Class 3 biohazard protection, including face masks and suits.